Hi guys, I'm Kevin and welcome to The Vault. The Vault is a new channel about luxury goods, ranging from watches to cars and even luxury handbags. We're talking about exclusive goods, and which is why we're only showing it to you through The Vault. For today, we have Storytime. Storytime is a segment showcasing guests and their prized possession of watches with their personal stories behind it. And today, my guest is Xavier. Xavier is a watch collector in Singapore and has been collecting watches for a few years now, and I'm very excited to see what he has brought in today. So let's dive into it. Alright guys, so today we have Xavier, the watch collector.
Hi.
And Xavier, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Kevin.
Nice to meet you. Wow, I mean, look at these, man. There's a lot of watches. So Xavier, you're a watch collector and you want to tell me a little bit more about yourself?
I started collecting watches at 17 years old, and this is actually the first piece that I got. It's a Rolex Oyster Date 6694. The reason I got this piece was that actually my father has the same piece as well.
So this is your father's?
Yeah, this is my father's, and it's a different dial color. This is in gold and this is in silver. And my father has been a role model in my life. So I thought that why not I should get something that similar as his for a start. And amazingly that this is actually his first Rolex as well. I actually saw this watch on Carousel and I got my dad to come along with me to meet the seller because he had more experience, so maybe he could help me like take a look and all. So coincidentally that the seller was actually his primary school friend. Like
I think it's meant to be. Yeah, it's meant to be, man.
He didn't see him for quite a number of years as well, and we had a good chat, and he managed to bargain a little bit better price for me.
Right. This guy.
I love this piece, even though it has been so many years. I still wear it on quite a regular basis, and definitely I will not ever sell this watch. Yes, I'll keep this part of my collection, maybe for my kids someday.
Let's say like for family functions, right? Do your dad wear this and then you purposely wear the same one as him?
We did once.
Oh, we did once, yeah.
We tried to wear matching watches. I actually have a few other of this in different dial color. Like I'll let my brother wear it as well.
I mean, I'm your friend, right? Can I borrow one?
Oh, sure, man.
Hey, this guy he knows, man.
I would say this is quite a good entry-level Rolex for people who want to start collecting watches. It's not that expensive. It's still an acceptable price, and
it's a Rolex.
Yeah, it's a Rolex, and you get a piece of history.
If I really want to get a luxury watch, and one day that I will, I will definitely keep it.
Especially if it's your first piece, right?
Yeah, you always want to keep your first piece. You actually told me that you bought a few of the similar colors, right?
Yeah, actually I have a blue here, and I didn't bring the black one, and
oh, this is very interesting. Yeah, the face is very striking for this. I like the blue dial, but yet the indices, right, they are gold, and the number 12 marks the Rolex logo. When you just see it from, it's like Rolex with the crown. It looks very prestige, very royal. And of course the blue dial, like in a sense also, it strikes out from the silver, from the whole body, from the bracelet.
Slightly different. It's the same watch, but just has a different feel to it.
This feels a little bit more vintage. I've been eyeing on this, and I think you've been telling me that this watch is from 1953.
Yeah, this is a Rolex Oyster from 1953, reference number 6244. What caught me was the 369 numerals on the dial. So what we call it is the Explorer dial, because the Rolex Explorer has the 369 numerals on the dial as well. And what's special about this watch is that it has a red second hand. The patina on the watch looks very old because of the tritium aging and all, and I feel that it has a lot of character, and yeah, that's why I bought it. Even though I don't think I'll be able to wear it due to its small size. It's about 31 mm, if I'm not wrong.
I mean,
yeah,
it looks a bit smaller.
It's a lot smaller. Yeah,
it is a lot smaller.
It looks weird on me, but yeah, I thought that it would be nice to have one in my collection. I mean, it's a collection anyway, not that I will wear everything, but yeah, I just thought that interesting to own one.
It's 1953 and this is 2021, so how old is it now? 16 to 17. Yeah, it's like kind of like a 70 years old watch.
And it's still working good.
And it's still working.
Yeah, it's still working good.
This is very rare, and I'm very sure they're not making this anymore.
Yeah,
so let's say if I really want to buy one, because I really like this, where do I go?
And actually, you can buy it from me.
This guy.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm not selling this one. If you really want to buy something like this, actually, you can go online and forums or auction houses. I believe that there are still quite a few for sale. Compared to all these watches, right, this really stands out. It's very unique. But I know one watch really stands out and is really popular. It's actually the Rolex Submariner. Yes. Because I'm with a watch expert, right? So no, I'm not an expert, just a guy.
I mean, maybe you want to tell me about like what's up with these, man? Like,
okay, this is actually the Hulk. It's a reference number 116610LV. It was actually on the shelf and nobody liked them until recently, and it just went crazy. Everyone was searching for it and the prices just went
skyrocket.
Yes, skyrocket. I was lucky to be able to have one way before all this happened, and I kept one in my collection. until now. I would say it's a very nice tool watch.
I see like you have quite a few of different versions. And
Yeah, I
different
have this one here as well. Okay, this one is a two-tone Submariner with blue dial. If you take a closer look, you can see that the indices are actually diamonds. This is like something that's slightly different. For the two-tone blue ones, they actually came out with the matte dial and the sunburst dial. For the diamond dial, it only came with the matte dial. And from what I know, for the matte blue diamond dial, you can only find on the white gold model. So I thought it was special. Like I can't afford the white gold one, so why not I just get the two-tone one with the exact dial? Yeah.
I mean, this is beautiful, and the diamond indices really stands out. Like especially when you sign.
Yeah, it's like
kind of like see it with the light.
It's not very loud, but it's like subtle.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, but generally overall, I feel the Submariners are always been very flashy. Like you spot it from a few meters away, you're like, oh yeah, he's wearing a Submariner.
Yes. So for the oyster bracelet, right, for Rolex, actually their steel is made from 904 alloy. So they actually came up with this steel, and compared to other brands, they made it using 316 steel. So the 904 is more corrosion resistant. Right. So this is their selling point.
Because we are always wearing
it's a dive watch,
and
yeah.
It really captures attention, and it's like it screams, I have a Rolex. But of course, other than that, right, you have the smaller one, and you told me like this one is Rolex Oyster Perpetual Day-Date, and this is actually the Rolex President.
Yes.
You want to tell me more about like what is it associated with the president and which president it is?
The US president was actually gifted a Rolex Day-Date, and he wore it. And if I'm not wrong, it was President LBJ. And from then on, this was nicknamed as the President's Watch.
If I'm correct, President Donald Trump wore a Vestron Constantine.
Okay.
And President Joe Biden wears a Omega Speedmaster.
Yeah, he wears an Omega Speedmaster, yes.
Now the presidents have different brands actually, no longer the Rolex.
No longer the Rolex.
Whenever I see a watch like with gold and green, like it just reminds me of the color of the dollar bill,
Actually, I made the strap green because green is actually a trademark color of Rolex, and I feel that it goes well with gold, and you can see the contrast is quite nice, right? Yeah.
This one comes with the diamond dials also, right?
Yes,
yeah.
This is one with diamond dial.
You can see it's very luxurious, like it's very classy, very bougie.
And actually, this was quite a special watch to me, and I bought it just before I enlisted into army. So it was like a milestone.
I think like among that, right, this one is quite striking, and I think this is also perpetual date with the UAE Eagle Crescent, right?
Yes. What's special about this crest is the crest of the UAE Army. They actually found Rolex to like special order the watches to have their crest printed on it. This will actually gives to like their soldiers or diplomatic gifts, and this what.
How do you get this?
I managed to get it off another collector as well. So if you can actually see the dial, it's damaged.
Oh.
Can you see the 6 o'clock?
Yeah, it is.
Luckily, the Eagle crest isn't that damaged. I mean, for vintage watches or new vintage, you can't treat it as like a brand new watch.
Yeah, definitely.
It's like, this watch is more than 30, 40 years old. You can't like expect it to be pristine condition or just off the box, out from the shop, brand new.
This is made for the UAE military, and it was divided into 3 parts. Like one was for the military, one was for the civil defense, which is like the police, and then one's for the Air Force, right? How do you tell like whether it's military, police, or Air Force? Was actually like this
the words.
Yeah, very little words. They were like asking all our friends like who can read Arabic, like, hey, you know what it means?
I was like, what's the word on it?
Yeah.
The name of the king or
yeah, like every little intricate details, like, it's crazy, dude. Whoever has this also is probably like someone who's quite old. I think this is like something they would do in the 1980s, right?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but 1950s to about 1980s. So it was for quite a period until like Rolex say that they don't want to do it anymore and they stop it. Right now, the newer ones, they don't do prints on the dial anymore. They actually engrave the coat of arms or logo on the case back, but not on the dial anymore.
Not on the dial anymore, yeah. Aside from this, right, like I'm seeing a lot of Rolex, and one of it is this.
So this is a GMT Master.
So this GMT Master looks this color looks very old. Why do you collect this one?
Okay, so what I like about vintage watches is because of the look. The material that was made for the looms, right, were made from tritium. So tritium is actually a kind of a radioactive material thing. So it ages through time. It will not go anymore.
Right.
It will start to turn from white to brownish and whatsoever color. It's random. Some of them will turn and some of them will not. This one is actually tritium dial as well, and you can see it's a bit brownish already, but not that much. And this, because of the radioactive materials, it actually kind of took away and it changed color.
Right.
So I
So
felt
it looks
that
like
it was
it's corroded.
corroded, but in a nice way.
In a nice way,
Special.
in a nice way.
And this is actually the same reference as well. You can see for the hands,
Right.
the hands are aged beautifully.
That's the right
Yeah,
way.
you see, if you compare both of the hands, you can see it's really different.
Right. The
But-
color is very different.
Yeah, one is a little bit more patina and this not that much, but the dial is beautiful on this. This is actually the 16753 nipple dial GMT Master.
From afar, I was like, whoa, what is this? You know, like.
Yeah, it looks orangey,
yeah,
kind of,
it looks
yeah.
orangey. It's not like your usual watches. Like usually, like when you see the face of the watch, it's like wow,
Yeah, like one
classy.
colour.
You know, very cool.
There are cases where people like bake it to achieve the color and they paint
Bake
it.
it?
Yeah. They
You
put
mean
it
like
in the oven like, with some coffee?
Put it in
or
the
what.
oven.
Yes. Just the dial, not the whole watch. These two actually are the same reference as well.
Oh,
it's
right.
Both are Pepsi.
Right. Because of the colors, right? That's why it's
It's a
called Pepsi.
16700 GMT Master Pepsi, and you can see from the bezel inserts that actually it's supposed to be bright red, but yes,
it's very
aged to be discolored. I recently caught the Cartier bug from my friend. He has been posting a lot of Cartier watches on his Instagram, and I got two myself.
This one is really small.
Yeah, this is actually a men's size.
This is a men's size.
Yes, it's a men's size.
This is a men's size.
Yes, it's a men's size.
Guys, this is a man's size on my really fat wrist.
This is actually Cartier Santos Dumont. It's named after Alberto Santos Dumont. He's an aviation expert, and in the 1900s, Alberto actually got his friend Louis Cartier to design a watch for him.
Right.
So back in the days, only women wore wristwatches,
Right.
and men were using pocket watches.
Right.
But he needed to fly a plane or some sort of aircraft, and he got his friend to like, hey, I need my both hands. So can you do me something that I can wear on my wrist? So
Right.
this is how it came about, and this is actually a newer variant like down the road, and this is a limited edition of 300 pieces.
And wow, I'm not used to seeing squarish watches, but it has the
Character,
elegance to it.
exactly.
Yes,
Yes,
it has
yes.
the character to it. I mean, Roman numerals. I mean, for a very small and slim watch, it's actually quite heavy. You can feel the weight.
On the crown, it's actually a real sapphire. It only comes on precious metal models. This is actually a plated gold, so this is actually not real sapphire. For the steel variants, right, only the XL comes in mechanical movement. The other sizes come in quartz movement. So for me, when I was looking for this watch, I actually wanted one in the L size, but I didn't want the quartz movement.
Yeah, of course.
And I have no choice but to find the limited edition one that's like slightly pricier. I wouldn't say that quartz is it's bad, but for me, my personal preference would be still the mechanical movement. This is still a Cartier tank, but this is actually a Masti tank. Quite a number of celebrities and the royal family, Princess Diana, you have Andy Warhol, Muhammad Ali, they all wore a Cartier. They wore a tank.
What?
Yeah, they wore a tank. Andy Warhol actually wore the tank as well. And there was quite a famous quote that said, like something that goes along the line, I don't wear a tank to tell the time. And I don't want it at all. I wear a tank because it's a watch to wear.
It is because it's a
It
tank.
sounds deep, right? Yes, because it's a tank. So I thought that I should add a tank to my collection as well.
When I was younger, I thought, you know, why do people pay so much money for a piece of accessory on your wrist?
Every watch has a story to tell.
Yeah, definitely. Which is why we call it story time. Xavier, thank you so much for sharing
Yeah,
all these
welcome.
stories. As a watch enthusiast, especially a very young watch enthusiast, I've started to understand why they really cost so much, from little nuggets of history being passed down from generations, and you know, like who wore them and how it got its reputation.
Yes.
All these watches, they have their story. It's really not just a piece of accessory on your
Yes.
wristwatch. It's more than that. Do you think you have more? Just that you never bring it out?
No.
He's being shy. He's being shy. Thank you guys so much for watching the first episode of The Vault. And if you guys like what you're seeing, do comment down below on what I can review next. Probably watches, probably cars, probably luxury handbags. If you have any guests or someone you want me to have a nice story time with, do let me know too. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye!
Bye.
Thanks for watching!